everyone, welcome to episode 26 of Otome Shimai.
I'm Vicky.
And I'm Vika.
And we are sisters who play Otome games. It is the holiday episode! This holiday season, we want to give back to our awesome listeners. So someone is going to get some 2D boyfriends no matter what holidays they do or do not celebrate this season. We'll give more details at the end of the episode, though, so make sure to stay tuned.
Today, on episode 26, we are talking about game versus anime. We're going back to our game versus anime.
I love this series.
I love this series because I get to play a game and watch an anime. Two of my favorite things.
But is the anime usually good?
Negotiable. Anyways, today's episode is called Who's My Boyfriend Today? Vicky, any reason you can think that I might not be able to remember who my boyfriend is?
You have too many to keep track?
No, because I have amnesia! We're talking about amnesia memories.
Wait, amnesia memories?
Yeah, amnesia memories.
Aren't those opposite things?
You mean amnesia and memories?
Yes.
So today we're talking about Amnesia the anime versus Amnesia the game.
Oh, okay. I get it now.
That's right. But first, who are you doing this week?
I finished Cupid Parasite.
So you did all of them.
Well, Lynette did all of them. I was just kind of there for the ride.
What a crazy ride it sounded like, too.
Yeah. I mean, so to be perfectly honest, Cupid Parasite was not my favorite Otome game. I definitely have some complaints about it in terms of continuity and the way that the plot fits together in the fact that it doesn't.
Yeah, I'll be honest. When you were sending me, the play-by-play of this game, I could not follow what was going on. There was just too many bright lights and colors and just things happening.
Yeah, and that's the thing. You don't have to follow along. If you want to play Cupid Parasite, then do it because it's pink and it's bright and it's funny and it's crazy, but don't try to make sense of it because it's not going to happen. Anyways, Vika, who are you doing this week?
So I'm continuing to play TAFELLOWS, and I completed Shu's route.
My favorite!
Yes, I got to see him and all of his cute little hairpins.
What did you think?
I really liked it. This game is turning out to be very dramatic, very intense, but also very enjoyable.
Yeah.
So we'll see what happens next. I definitely think I'm going to go for Mozu next. Ooh. Because I can tell that he's going to be my favorite, just by his personality. I have a feeling.
Yeah, I think you're going to like Mozu. But you're also going to cry.
Yeah, I have a few times already, to be honest. But let's not talk about that. Let's talk about Amnesia.
Amnesia. So Amnesia, the anime, is a short form with full-length episodes. So that means the entire series is one season long with 12 episodes, each episode being 23 minutes long. The anime also first aired in 2013, if that gives you an idea of how dated it is.
Wow, that's nearly 10 years ago.
Yeah. Also, where can you watch it?
Nowhere. Don't ask us where you can watch it.
And don't ask us where we watched it.
So just FYI, due to how they set up the anime, we can't really do this episode without having at least some spoilers. Luckily, Amnesia is a very old game, so you've probably seen most of what we're going to talk about in a forum post at one point or another. The cage. But yeah, this is a warning that there are spoilers for both the game and the anime, but mostly the anime in this episode.
Yeah. So first, Amnesia basic plot. The MC, who is nameless, and so we can only refer to her as MC.
Or heroine.
Or heroine.
I really like that.
Are we going to refer to her as heroine?
No, she doesn't do much heroining in this game, to be honest.
So she's the MC. She wakes up and finds that she has
amnesia!
Yep.
Surprise, surprise.
Floaty fairy boy, Orion, tells her he bumped into her, fused with her soul, and basically screwed her over.
Wow, what a nice fairy.
So nice.
At least he's cute.
He is cute, but he's very unhelpful. In the anime, he's very unhelpful, at least. So MC has to regain her memories by interacting with the world and people around her.
Before we talk more about the plot, let's talk about the art style.
So I didn't think the art style was half bad. The backgrounds were really pretty, especially since it was very Tokyo. This takes place in Ikebukuro in Tokyo, which is a place that I've been to. I lived quite near there for about a year, and so it really made me feel nostalgic. The backgrounds were really good.
Did it look pretty authentic?
It did look pretty authentic.
How nice.
The close-up shots are also good, and far away is, it's decently derpy, but it's not anything that would get memed.
I agree. I did think some of the faraway shots were pretty derpy, but not Code Realize level derpy.
That's a good point. They were not Code Realize derpy.
That's right. In Code Realize, we thought that the faraway shots were drawn by somebody's foot.
We did say that, didn't we?
And I don't think anybody's feet were near this anime.
Yeah.
So, I don't know. I kind of liked it. Compared to the art in the game, I thought it was pretty close. I mean, of course, the CGs in the game are going to be way better quality, but I think that's pretty expected for a short anime adaptation. I also just really love the color palette, the lightness, the airy feel of the art style in general. You know how I love my pastels.
Yeah.
But it's not all pastels. This game doesn't shy away from color and interesting patterns and designs, but I think it's still pretty easy on the eyes.
Ooh, also keeping in line with the game artwork, all of the characters are just sticks made of 75% leg.
That's right. I think that was one of the first things Vicky noticed when we started watching it. She was like, why do they have so much leg?
They do. Nobody has that much leg. It's only in Amnesia.
Yeah, their bodies really are 75% leg. I don't understand.
Yeah.
But it really shows off the design of their pants.
I'm pretty sure that Shin's pants are boots.
Just like Kent's outfit is all belts.
That's true.
Anyways, let's go back to talking about the plot.
So, the plot in the anime versus the game. Here is the thing. Vika played Amnesia. I didn't. But Vika also does not remember playing Amnesia. So this was a really interesting experiment.
Okay, I do remember playing the game, but honestly, I think I also just had Amnesia myself. Because I barely remembered the plots and all of their roots.
You really don't.
It was tough. Except for the cage. I will always remember the cage. This was also the first game I played solo in Japanese. So I spent quite a long time on it, translating, trying to get the story down. Anyways, I think I blocked out most of that from my memory. So what I ended up doing in preparation for this episode is going back and reading through root reviews for each character on Blerdy Otome's blog. We'll link to those reviews in the episode description. Thanks, Naja.
Thanks, Naja. One thing you did talk about was the setup of how they went through the plot.
That's true.
In the game, what ends up happening is you choose a route at the beginning and then stay in that LI's route. But in the anime, they dedicated a few episodes to each LI, and so what ended up happening was the MC kind of got thrown from world to world. Literally. You get a few episodes where you have a boyfriend, and then something happens where you usually end up dying or almost dying, and then you wake up in a different world with a different boyfriend, always on August 1st. But it's cold. It's cold on August 1st in Tokyo. That is the most unbelievable part of this entire anime, and it made me mad.
That's a really good point. August 1st in Tokyo is ridiculously hot and sweltering.
It is hot, it is humid, you would not even think of wearing a jacket anywhere, and everyone in this game is dressed like it's late fall, early winter, and it drove me nuts.
Okay, there is a reason for that, but in the anime they actually don't go over it.
No, they don't! They're just like, it's August 1st, and then everyone is like, oh, look how cold it is!
Well, at some point she makes a comment about the weather.
They do, but they don't explain, and it just made me mad.
Well, I'm sorry, and I agree, it was pretty unbelievable.
Ugh. Anyways, who are the characters?
Well, let's start with the MC. The MC, like Vicky said earlier, is a girl who literally has amnesia, and also happened to catch Yui syndrome along the way.
Yeah.
Yeah, really bad case of Yui syndrome. Like, I totally forgot about how bad she had it.
Yeah. We were pretty mad at her in the anime. And the thing that made me extra mad is the fact that the people who knew her before she got amnesia described her as someone who was pretty strong-willed and smart and outspoken, but all we ended up seeing was someone who stared blankly at walls and refused to communicate with anyone in full sentences. So it's actually no wonder that almost everyone figured out that something was wrong really quickly.
To be honest, it wasn't really much of a surprise to me. I mean, she is supposed to have amnesia, sure. So I kind of understand why they might write her this way, but having amnesia doesn't mean that her intelligence, common sense, and personality is gone too. That made me pretty upset. In my playthrough, I didn't remember her having a case of the Yuis, but in hindsight, I feel like the only things you really get to learn about her are through what Orion says, and boy does Orion have his own personality.
Yes, Orion. Most of the plot is his fault.
Yeah. That's true. Orion is our floaty fairy boy. He is cute and adorable, and also only the MC can see or hear him.
Mm-hmm.
Orion is basically the mover and the shaker when it comes to the plot, because since MC has amnesia and therefore remembers absolutely nothing, Orion has to guide her in getting her memories back. To me, the most frustrating bits were the times when Orion wasn't around in the anime, because all we could do is watch MC make terrible, terrible decisions.
Or no decisions at all.
That's true. No decisions at all. In the game, this does happen where she loses the ability to contact him, but because of the way the anime is set up where she keeps hopping from one version of the world to another, it's so much more difficult to keep track of things. So when Orion's not there, you really lose track of what's happening and what's going on.
Yeah, and also sometimes Orion disappears and they don't explain why he's disappeared.
That's true. Yeah, in the game, you understand at some point why he's not there, but the whole world hopping thing that happens in the anime is very, very distracting.
Yeah, it is.
Mm-hmm.
Anyways, on to the LIs. Who are our boyfriends?
Well, our first boyfriend in the anime is Shin. Shin is basically super sus for the entire beginning of the series. I don't know why it happened this way. I don't remember him being sus in the game at the very beginning, but at the very beginning of her dating him, or at least her being in a relationship with him, he is super suspicious.
Yeah. To the point where it was like, did this guy, I don't know, do something really horrible? Is she in danger? It was very confusing.
So the way that they set it up in the anime is they basically tell you, okay, obviously they're childhood friends, but she keeps having flashbacks about him confessing some murder to her, and the scenes are framed in a way that pins him as the bad guy from the very start. So she falls off a cliff after being out late in the forest with him, and if that's not suspicious, I don't know what is.
I mean, I guess they get things worked out and MC makes out with him a lot, so is that the good end? I don't know. Well, that's another thing. There's actually quite a lot of affection in this game because you are dating people in these worlds that she gets thrown to. So pretty soon off the bat, I mean, Shin will kiss her in one of the first few episodes. So just go in expecting that because she is actually in relationships with these men.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, she gets a little nookie.
She does get a little nookie, mostly from Shin.
Mostly from Shin. She gets nookie from others, and we'll talk about that in a second.
Yeah.
So, who's our next character?
Toma.
Toma.
Okay, so here's the thing about Toma. He actually makes a lot of good points about how MC needs to learn how to be more careful when she knows she's in a dangerous situation.
That is a very good point.
However, everything that comes out of his mouth becomes completely moot when he decides that the best way to protect her is by drugging her and locking her in a cage. No, sir. I do not want that. And you know what the worst part is? The worst part is that Orion suddenly goes, oh, he's only doing this because he's trying to protect you, so it's okay. It's not okay.
It's not okay.
And not only that, but Orion was all panicked about Toma drugging MC, but as soon as we got to the Toma locks MC in a cage part, he was totally fine with it. Why? Does he do that in the game?
Yes, he does do that in the game.
Why?
Remember, this is still a romance game. They do eventually get a happy ending together, so you're supposed to be rooting for him as an ally.
Not after he locks me in a cage. Never after locking me in a cage.
Well, either way, Orion is like, it's not that bad. And to be honest, it is pretty bad. But in the game, it's very romantic at the very end, and it's fine. Happy-go-lucky, fun time.
No.
So, basically, everything about Toma is the cage.
Yes.
We're not going to say anything else about him.
Did anything else really happen?
No, I suppose they didn't.
That's literally all they did in the anime. They were like, she's being stalked, and his reaction is to drug her and lock her in a cage, the end.
Yeah, that's true. There was a point where Shin came over and was like, dude, what are you doing, and why is she here?
And then Shin leaves and never comes back.
Okay, they're really not looking out for MC, man.
No, they are not looking out for MC. Anyways,
Let's
I'm done.
Let's talk about a little more, a different, less cagey ally.
Yeah, less cagey allies.
Let's talk about Iki.
Iki! So, I also have a complaint about this ally.
I feel like you have a complaint about all the allies.
Yes.
Yes.
So, Iki is the one ally in this anime who doesn't figure out that anything is wrong.
That's true. All of the other allies are like, you're kind of acting strange to the MC when she goes, eto. But Iki...
Like, nothing. Absolutely nothing. He has his own shit to deal with, so it's kind of understandable. And actually, when we talk about our favorite scenes, my favorite scene is an Iki scene. So I'll explain more about that later because it's super, super fun. But I thought it was hilarious that he just noticed that nothing was wrong with his girlfriend.
Well, he does have a crazy fan club to deal with.
Yes, but that doesn't mean that he shouldn't, notice that his girlfriend's entire personality changed.
Well, when I was playing the game, I really loved Iki's route.
Yeah,
to be honest, it was a toss-up between him and Kent, so I'm kind of glad he got a lot of dedicated time in the anime. They went through some of his story in detail, like the whole thing about his strange ability and the fact that he's never able to be in a relationship for longer than 3 months because of his psycho fan club.
Oh, jeez, that reminds me. They never explained his ability in the anime.
No, they don't. Well, they allude to it. He mentions it because he tries it on her multiple times, and he's like, it's not working. And she's like, what?
Yes, but the thing is, if we didn't already know what his ability was, would that make any sense whatsoever?
No, it wouldn't. Because he just stares at her in the eyes and goes, this isn't working. What is this? What is not working? Anyways, Iki's a very interesting character. Strange ability, psycho fan club. I love him.
I'm glad you love him. I don't think he's a very good boyfriend in the anime.
Well, you know who is a good boyfriend in the anime?
Yes, I do. Kent is a good boyfriend in the anime. Kent is wonderful. I like Kent a lot, and the reason why I'm mad about this is because Kent only got one episode.
That made Vicky really, really mad. I was so shocked when we watched the anime, and Kent really did. He got one episode.
And it wasn't even an entire episode. It was like 3/4 of an episode.
Mm-hmm. And then she jumped ship, or rather worlds.
Ugh.
But at least Kent actually figured out something was wrong with her. And then when she actually came out and explained it all in detail, he listened and actually thought it through.
You know what else makes me mad?
What?
We didn't get any sugar from him.
I'm trying to talk about Kent's personality, and you're just telling me about all the things that made you mad?
Yes.
Okay.
I wanted to at least get a butt grab.
I know.
Why?
Nothing.
Why? Why can't I grab Kent's butt?
Nothing. Shin got nookie. Toma even got nookie.
Everyone got some type of romance thing, and I think Kent and MC held hands for 0.5 seconds at one point.
I mean, he is kind of antisocial and doesn't know how to interact with people.
That doesn't mean he doesn't deserve some love.
Agree. He does deserve love. I thought they did a pretty good job of representing his personality in the anime, though.
True.
His character's supposed to be, really analytical, kind of a robot. I mean, he's a math genius, for goodness sakes. So it made me laugh when he confronted the MC and was like, oh, I tried to think of ways that you'd be acting like this, and the best he could come up with was somewhere in between, oh, she's being really emotional, i.e. probably on her period, or she's been abducted by aliens.
So it's a really good thing that this anime aired well before our lineup and size up of Collar Malice. Otherwise, we'd have to sue them for copyright infringement.
That's right. Enomoto had a very similar experience in Collar Malice.
Well, at least in our episode of the Collar Malice podcast thing.
That's right.
Yes, abducted by aliens and menstruating. I don't know. We still have one more LI to go through.
Okay, last LI is Ukyo.
Ukyo.
This guy gave me all the feels in my playthrough, and I completely forgot about them. Like, I literally had amnesia when it came to Ukyo.
It was great because as soon as he came on screen in the anime, Vika was like, oh! And it's like everything just came back to her and she got super emotional and started talking a mile a minute. And I was like, I'm trying to watch this.
I mean, he has to go through some really traumatic shit in the entirety of this game because you don't get to find anything out about why he's following her around and murdering her left and right and center until you actually do his route.
So I didn't play the game. So the only thing that I felt from this anime was, wow, this dude's crazy. Because that's basically all they show.
I mean, they do kind of, he sets it up a little bit where he tries to tell her, like, hey, this is the reason I'm here, and this is why you're jumping worlds, da-da-da-da-da. But, yeah, he was pretty crazy.
The last 2 episodes of the anime were explanation, and it was a bad explanation.
Okay, so it wasn't that easy to follow. But anyways, let's finish talking about the characters before we go into the overview.
That's true, because we do have some side characters left.
That's right. Since this was a 12-episode anime adaptation, the side characters are basically just filling space. Sawa is still a great friend, Mine is still MC's Kohai, and Rika is still the manager of the Iki fan club, but we learn next to nothing about these characters in the anime.
Ooh, we actually learned stuff about Waka, though.
That's true.
Yeah. Waka is MC's boss at the cafe she works at, and Waka has a completely different personality in each one of the quote-unquote worlds, and you can see it very, very clearly in the anime. And MC just gets so confused the first couple of times it happens, but by the end of the anime, she's just kind of like, oh, well, that's what Waka's like in this world.
It's true. He's a great character.
Like, okay, I have accepted that my boss is going to have a completely different personality every time this happens.
Yes. That's really all you get to learn about the side characters from this game through the anime. Not much at all, to be honest.
Yeah.
Should we talk about our favorite scenes?
I think we should talk about our favorite scenes. Vika, what are your favorite scenes?
I feel like I say this with every game versus anime, but I love the opening.
The opening
was good. Is so good. Like, the song was banging. I wanted to sing along every time. To be honest, I really just either love or hate the opening songs to these anime adaptations. There really is no in-between, and I know people will get mad at me for saying this, but my other favorite scene is the cage scene. I'm sorry, I just couldn't help getting wrapped up in the absurdity of it. I love you so much, you're like my sister, so I need to lock you in a cage forever to protect you from everything, me, and even yourself. And Orion's in the background being like, well, he's only doing it because he cares about you. And MC's like, yeah, he wants to protect me. That's how we know he cares about me. It's so sweet. Anyways, there were so many face palms and yelling at the screen from my point of view and from Vicky's point of view. It's really memorable. Frustrating, hilarious, and memorable.
Yeah, this was a scene where we had to pause quite a few times because we couldn't take notes anymore. We just wanted to yell for a little bit.
Cage scene. Oh, goodness gracious.
Yeah.
At least they did it justice in the anime. It was a big part of the game, and they did a great job of portraying what happens in the anime.
That is very, very true. They did a wonderful job of portraying the fact that this is stupid.
Okay, so I told you what my favorite scenes were. What are yours?
So I'm going to say the opening too, first of all. There's one specific part of the opening, actually, that was just the coolest thing ever, and it's actually probably one of the coolest things that I've seen in an anime opening ever, and it just sucks that they couldn't have done more cool things with this anime in general. And that was the part where at one point you see MC kind of floating through space, and then I think it's Shin is like leaning towards her as if he's going to kiss her, and then suddenly in rapid succession it changes to all of the different LIs.
Yeah, it like shuffles through them all and like very quickly. It was so cool looking.
Yeah. So if you guys are going to look up anything about this anime, look up the opening and see that like 0.5 seconds. It's the coolest thing ever.
It was a great part of the opening. The song was also good.
Yeah,
you can't say the song wasn't good.
The song wasn't bad. It wasn't my favorite, but it wasn't bad. But in terms of actually, like, story in the anime, there is a scene in one of Iki's episodes where he gets drunk.
Oh, right.
He walks to her house, And he stands outside of her apartment and calls her.
Yes, so he drunk dials her.
He drunk dials her. And it was wonderful because he was like, no, you stay up there. Just talk to me. Like, I'm feeling down and I want to hear your voice. And then after telling her, just talk to me, I want to hear your voice, he talks over her nonstop for 5 minutes, hangs up, and leaves.
I'll be honest, it sounds like a very realistic drunk dial.
It was the most realistic drunk dial I've ever seen on television ever. Because that is what happens. The man who likes you will call you and be like, I miss you, I just want to hear your voice. And then they won't shut up, and then suddenly they have hung up without you saying anything. This is what happens.
I don't remember if this happened in the game or not, but it was a pretty great scene in the anime.
I loved it.
Yeah,
it was wonderful.
very
It was so realistic.
Okay, let's talk about our overall thoughts.
So I feel like now we have a good scale of like anime based on Otome games because Diabolic Lovers was terrible.
Yes.
Code Realize was pretty great.
Yes.
And Amnesia is somewhere in the middle.
That's true. I would agree with that.
Yeah. I probably wouldn't recommend it to anyone who isn't an Otome fan, but they did do a pretty good job of creating a somewhat coherent plot. Plus, MC got a little nookie. Kent got ripped off, though, and I will forever be mad about that.
Totally. Kent really did get ripped off. Every LI got at least 2 entire episodes to themselves before she dies and gets transported into a different reality, and poor Kent, with barely an episode dedicated to him before Toma took over. Actually, overall, I wasn't too mad at it. I think they really did a good job of outlining the plot in a way that you could follow so that you can kind of understand what's going on from part to part. I don't think that you need a lot of background knowledge in order to watch it, but there were some weird little plot holes that you might want to get filled in by playing the game. I mean, we don't know why the weather was funky on August 1st, and we also don't understand why Iki has a psychotic fan club. So there you go.
That's true. What about you guys? Has anyone else out there watched the Amnesia anime? And what did you think? Let us know in a comment, email, or on Twitter. We're on Twitter a lot.
We are on Twitter a lot.
Well, I'm on Twitter a lot.
Well, Vicky's in charge of the Twitter.
I am.
I just do things when I feel them.
Anyways.
If you like what you hear and would like to support us, we have a Buy Me a Coffee account where you can donate to us keeping the podcast going.
We also have Twitter and Instagram where you can stay updated on what we're up to. Ooh, speaking of Twitter, holiday giveaway information.
Holiday giveaway!
This is what you guys have been waiting for, right?
That's why you stayed to listen to the end of this episode.
Thank you. So we will be giving away 3 pins to one of our supporters via Twitter. We'll post a tweet asking for your favorite episode of Otome Shimai, as well as... Should we do a weird question?
You and your weird questions. I mean, yes.
Okay. Because I prepared one.
Oh, of course you did. Okay, what's the weird question they have to answer?
What is your favorite LI's second favorite holiday treat?
So wait a minute. You're asking for the second favorite holiday treat, meaning every person who answers this question has to think about, number 1, who is their favorite LI? Number 2, what is their first favorite holiday treat? And be like, not that one, but the other one instead.
Yes.
Okay. Good luck, everyone.
Okay, so we're going to post the tweet at 1 p.m. PST today, December 26th. I'll pin it to the top of our profile, too. And the winner will be randomly chosen on Friday, December 31st at noon PST. The winner will be notified through Twitter DMs, so you must be following us on Twitter to enter, as well as be located in North America.
Sorry, other parts of the world. Shipping is super expensive.
It is. Sorry, guys.
So let's give listeners some more info on these pins. One of them will get to win. Vicky, what games are they going to be from?
So I actually relatively recently bought a metaphorical crap ton of pins from one of the recent Ultimate Garden collections. So a number of those will probably be in the mix. I also have a lot of Diabolic Lovers pins. I wonder why I have a lot of those.
I mean, we do love us some vampire ASMR.
That's true. You have a lot of those too, don't you?
I do. I really do. Anyways, so please go to Twitter, give us a follow, comment on our post answering these 2 questions, and we look forward to seeing all of your answers. Thanks everyone for listening. Bye!